Good evening, everybody. I am Elizabeth Cooper.
And Mike Harrison, Road Captain.
That's right. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am so excited to see you. I'm fried. I am fried like a pickle on a Tuesday night because it's Easter week and pickle on it. Yeah, doesn't everybody say that?
I know. First time I ever heard it.
Because it's the first time I think anybody in the world's ever said it.
Is it a dull pickle or
I just have to slide that in there like it's just normal place. Fried like a pickle on Tuesday night. Anyway, the kids are bouncing all over the place. Do you have any Easter plans coming up, Michael?
I just have that. We do a morning run at 5 o'clock in the morning on the bikes. We go out to the ocean and watch the sunrise. It's called the sunrise at Easter, and they have a little mass on there. And then I just go and shoot over to my niece's house for dinner later. But I do that every year. It's a nice ride out there. Hopefully it'll be a beautiful day, and we get some sun coming up.
Yeah. It took a wicked turn on us. It is so cold here. I was walking around. My family was laughing at me last night because I'm like, it is inhumane. And they're like, Mom, it's 63. And I mean, literally, but it went 63, woke up, it's 34. Thursday, I think I'm moving out. I'm leaving Georgia because it's supposed to be 31. Done. Like, can't handle it. So but it was very nice. That's the thing. It's like she teases us. She puts her collar boa on and she's like, 80. And then 30.
Well, I hope those peaches don't freeze.
Well, yeah.
I need my peaches, right?
I am a little concerned for the trees.
Right.
To be honest with you, on a serious note, do you have something to drink there tonight?
I do, but I don't have the Cooper mug. You got a little
mug. That's
little water.
Next time. I discovered something new tonight. Look at that. Oh, it perfectly conceals some crappy ass wine if you want some.
That is awesome.
I'm sure. You know what? Here's a thing. And I guess it's kind of a thing because my girlfriends have talked about it. Screw off caps on wine. I'm hearing that this is happening to like good stuff.
Is it?
Yeah. Do you drink wine?
I do. And I started out with the screw offs, like what was that called?
Oh my God. I started off with the box. So we're twinsies.
We're twinsies, right?
Anyway, we hope that you are having fun tonight. I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. And our sponsor for the entire month of March has been Viter Energy Mints. I have all my Viter Energy Mints here next to me. I'm sure that you have a couple of them with you. And I've talked about the cinnamon, but I have to talk about wintergreen. I love the flavor. Isn't it interesting how our senses lock on to something and then it reminds us, it brings us back to all those great memories. So when I was a little girl, my father, in his pocket, he would keep wintergreen mints, right? The wintergreen mints. And this wintergreen that they have, which I believe, yes, it is in the light blue tint. It has such a wonderful, refreshing flavor. You've got to try the wintergreen mints. They are available at Walmart. They're also available at Vitamint. It is not Vitamint. It is, let me get it together, Elizabeth. GoViter.com. GoViter.com. And they have cinnamon, wintergreen, peppermint, spearmint, and chocolate mint. This has a small mint, 40 milligrams of caffeine in each small mint. So please don't do what my brother would do with the whipped cream and down the whole thing, because you'll be dead. So don't do that. That would be really bad for the company, and that's not what it's intended for. But it will pick you up. It's made in Canada, as B12, B6, folate, and niacin. And best ever, 0 calories. So goviter.com. Check it out today.
I tried the box that you sent me, and I tried the peppermint that you had.
Yeah.
And like you said, they give you a little boost. And they're very tasty, and they don't have that aftertaste. Sometimes these vitamins have a little bit of aftertaste after it. This has no aftertaste after it, and you have clean breath too. So you get your vitamins and clean breath. You can't go wrong.
That's right. And if you're walking around wearing a mask, like I think we all do, in some locations you have to wear them, you want that fresh breath.
Yeah,
Anybody
you
with
need it.
nasty breath, that's been a huge positive for me,
Right.
because how many people do we know out there walking around with nasty, dead dog kind of breath? Now they know what we've been smelling all along.
Exactly. And how many people quit smoking because of the mask?
That
Because they
is
were
a,
smelling their own breath.
that's right.
It was a very serious wake up to me. I'm like, what stinks in this mask?
Wow. All right, so we have decided to bring a couple of topics to the table, right? And just talk about it, because it is 100% real. And if you see, I've got to show you this here, because do you see that? Do you see the sign behind me?
Yes.
I have that shadow box back there, and it comes with everything. It comes with the British flag, comes with the French flag, it comes with many different flags, comes with this. I don't even know what that is. What is that, Michael?
I don't know.
I don't, what, like, it A plus for sewing? I don't know what that is. Comes with the British pound symbol, but it doesn't come with a percent sign.
Oh, that's weird.
I'm not into it. So I took an L and I made a percent sign. That's going to drive me crazy. So we're not going to look at that. So I'm going to go like this so we don't have to see it. All right. So what do you have to talk about tonight? You go first, Michael.
Oh, great. Put me on the spot. Well, I tell you what, I have a little pet peeve I like to speak about if you're interested.
Yes.
Okay, so you know how you're on Facebook and stuff, and you see all the like buttons, and you hit the like, and you have the like and the heart and that little orange thing holding the heart. I guess that means I care or something.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And then you have the one laughing and the wow. Well, the one with the heart and the one with the laughing should be separated, because I've been known to hit the wrong one on people's serious moments. They have a devastated, a dog died or something, and I like not paying attention. I hit the smiley, the happy guy. Until I find out someone going, "What the hell did you do, Mike? You hit the what are you laughing about? The guy's dog died." And I'm like, "No, I went to hit the hug the heart guy." So I'm like, who does that? And why do you do it? Do you do it to mess with me?
Yeah.
Right?
No,
They
you're
should separate it. Put them on like separate sides. Put the angry guy and the happy guy together. Am I right or wrong?
What I want to know on that topic, and I agree with you, they are really close together. There should be like, are you sure?
You got to double check yourself.
they can detect so much on these postings. Really, that could be a feature. Like,
Right.
Sure. I would like to know when they're going to mix it up a little bit, because there's times where it's not quite applicable. Like, I don't love it. I don't care about it. I'm not like
Right.
really crying. Can't you?
Got to be something else.
Yeah, it's got to be something else. And if you change your mind, like let's say you heart it and you're like, well, that's not really, that's more like caring. So then I'll hit the care and I'll switch it. Do they know? Like,
That's what I'm saying. I mean, it changes their mind, but do they get the first one?
I think they get the first one. I think because they get their notification. So I think they get the first one, and that's just messed up.
So I've been wondering why I'm pissing a lot of people off lately. And that's, it's just not right. I'm hoping Facebook's listening. They would change that. What's up, Scotty boy? How you doing, my friends?
Praise God. Hey, Ken. Let's say hello to everybody. So they need a who cares emoji. Yes, Ken. I've thought about that. That was one, kind of like, like
Yeah, but what kind of face you have? Who cares?
Make
like a half of
something in reference to liquor. Like cheers. I don't know. So what do you think, guys? What would be something that you would add to the emoji list of what we have to just auto select to show that we're reading it, we're engaging in your crap, and we care?
Right. Or you don't care that much. There's things that people write, you could agree with them, but it doesn't. You don't care about it too much to give an opinion on it.
What about like an eye roll? The eye roll chick.
The eye roll.
That's
a good
what
one.
I need. I need that.
That's a good one. The eye roll.
That, and then I need like that, drinking a martini with
The
eye
drinking
roll.
one.
There's two different things there, two different levels.
We got to work on that.
We do. So, as I said, it's Easter week for all of us Christians out there. It's jelly bean time. And this brings up a question because when I was a kid, I wasn't really a kid, maybe 12, 13, 14. So kind of kid, right? I was watching something on PBS, of course, because all, real information came from PBS. Wonderful kind of docu-series.
Right.
So it was
after school special.
Yeah, it was a movie made in the 80s that was a period piece back into the 1800s. And these girls, they were dressed for a ball, or somebody was being chosen by the prince or something. I don't know. So she took her jelly bean out of her corset and she rubbed it on her lips.
Nice.
Because that was like, how to make them rosier, I suppose.
How old were you?
I promise this is a PBS thing.
Okay, I'm listening.
I think it was.
You got my attention.
So she put it on her lips. And I'm thinking, you remember when you were like, yeah, kissing's cool. And then you're with somebody so long, you're like, quit it. Like, it just feels like Fido is licking your whole face. Have you... You've been in a relationship for a while.
I love kisses to this day. So
it doesn't.
Yeah, I just love kissing. I think it's the most important part of a relationship.
Really?
The intimacy of kissing is better than anything, I think.
Okay.
Especially if you're good at it. I mean, there are. It's like if someone's licking your face, apparently. They weren't taught right.
That's what I'm thinking. It's like you can have a nice set of lips, but don't don't put
all over the place.
Yeah, it's not supposed to go like all. There's an art to it, right?
There is. There's an art to it.
Right. There should be classes out there, right? Like, how did you learn how to kiss?
Practice, practice, practice.
Would you practice on?
Everybody. But I still do, I'm just, that's it. No, you can't be taught it, I guess. You just have to practice at it. And you get your rhythm down. It's all about the facial muscles and the lips.
But there's levels.
Little tongue. You don't have to dash your tongue in there. You're not eating an ice cream cone.
Yeah, no. I've noticed that a lot of young boys.
We're gonna get arrested.
Not recently. When I was young, and then my daughter had a boyfriend once, and it was kind of like the first boyfriend. I took him to the mall so they could go see a movie together, and then he kissed her. But he kissed her and like shoved that tongue in there. And said, Mom, that was horrible. And I'm like, yeah, because that was horrible. Like, I kind of saw a minute of that. That was horrible. Like,
that's crazy.
So. But I noticed the same thing with the first boy that I kissed. So for me, on the girl side of it, like, there's levels. You start with your pillow because that's what television tells you to do. And then you do your hand because that's what your friends tell you to do. And then your friends tell you that you can get pregnant if he puts his thing by your belly button. And that's like the crescendo. That now you know it all.
There's no way you started making that with a pillow.
I did. Oh, yeah.
Get out.
No, seriously. Yeah.
I never heard of that.
Yep.
Imagine me with a pillow, 12, 13 years old, trying to make out with a little chubby Mike, right? Little chubby kid. My father walks in and catches me making out with a pillow. So I can hear the belt. I can hear the belt coming off his pants so fast.
So is that why young boys are so bad at it? They don't practice. I
guess we never practiced. We never were told to do skills like that.
Wow.
Maybe that's why women, when you're younger, that age, are more aggressive towards the boy than the boy is towards the girl.
Could be.
Because they've been practicing with their pillow and their hands.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been practicing with our hands, but it wasn't kissing.
that's too funny. All right, all right. What's your topic on your side? And then I've got you're gonna be laid out on the
Well,
floor.
you brought up a point taking your daughter to the movies. I remember coming home, my son was younger, with his first girlfriend and catching him in the pool kissing. I mean, you don't know to be proud or freaked out. I tell you the truth, you
Mhm.
know, because you're like, what? Am I seeing what I'm seeing? You know it's gonna happen sooner or later. But the first time seeing it, it's kind of weird. Do you think?
I I would think that would be weird. I mean, my boys are still young, so I'm still in the mindset of, "Oh, they're so sweet." Now that stuff's never gonna happen. Like, mommy's gonna be up here all the time, and then they're gonna bring in some crazy girl that's gonna be like, "I know him better than you," and it's gonna be on. I'm gonna punch the bitch out, and we're done. So there's that, but I would think it's weird. I have a friend of mine who is older than me and told me a story once, which I don't think I could ever do this, but maybe in a guy's perspective, you'd be like, okay, his son, picture it, his son is in high school, but he's a high school senior. He's dating an older girl. The girl is driving him home, and they're sitting in the sitting in the driveway of the home that the boy lives at. Okay. And the boy is my friend's son. So my friend's like, what are they doing in a car sitting in? So he looks out the window, and the girl has gone in a position that's very pleasing to the boy.
Uh
And he looks out the window, and his son goes,
huh.
and he closes closes the blinds or whatever, and says, "Attaboy."
Okay.
I wouldn't want to. No, no,
No,
no. I get
that's
the hose out.
yeah. I would have put the hose out. I would have looked out the window.
You would not have looked out the window.
Nah, because you know something's going on.
Yeah, I know.
And I give it up to the girl in the kid's driveway. That's pretty ballsy.
That's very
Yeah.
ballsy. Yeah.
Oh God, that's funny stuff. I don't know. They are peeling the bananas in their rooms right now.
I hope not. I mean, we had heard of that, but I think most of us we were still good with, nah, that's not really, we'll just blow on it and see, like,
See what happens.
maybe that's a joke. Maybe that's really what you're supposed to do, but they're telling us that's not really what you're supposed to. I mean, that's what I did the first time. I was like, no. Yeah. And then he's like, oh, sweetie, no, like it's for real. And I'm like, okay, cool. All right. So I made a phone call today. I had to order something. And this lady on the phone, and let's call her a girl. She's a woman, but she's got to be young. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt. So the conversation's going really well. She can fully speak. She's not using any like text language. She's not actually audibly saying LOL. Nothing like that. She's good diction, good vocabulary, all this kind of stuff. So she finally says, well, to get the answer to your question, you will need to email the store's owner. I said, okay, cool. And she said, do you have something to write the email down with? And I said, yeah, of course, I'm ready. She said, okay, let me spell it out. So she starts spelling out the letters to this email. So, it's like D for dog, I for igloo, K for Christine. I'm like, sweetheart, hold up. K for Christine? No lie. I wish I was recording that phone call. Hey for Christine. My mind is like, what? Malfunction. I did not get I will have to call her back with a different voice tomorrow to get that email. And I should record it this time. But what do you think? I mean, so I'm going to say with all the backstory that I gave her, where, she has a good vocabulary. There's got to be somebody in her family named Christine, spelled with a K.
Yeah, well, that's what they do now. They screw everything up, and they mess up with the names, and you got Christine with a K and Kathy with a C and a K. I mean, so it's confusing, but usually C is for Christine, not K.
Yeah, and of course the first go-to I had was, sweetie, do you watch movies? Because I have a movie for you. And it's Christine with a C.
And they want to get rid of Dr. Seuss. I mean, this is the problem.
Well, that was my question for you, was what do you think, if your child was to have a child and they were thinking about names, and let's say they wanted to name the child Ronald, but they were going to throw in a Q, would you say something or would you not say anything?
Well, I can't say anything because my daughter Destiny, Destinee, instead of the Y.
Okay.
All right, but I was going to name her Madison Shea instead of Destiny Shea after Madison Square Garden and Shea Stadium. But it didn't work out that way. So name your kids what you want. It's only a name, how you want to spell it. You want to name them all different kind of weird names and names after states or or fruits. I mean, there's apples out there and cinnamons, and I mean, we all need strippers. So the strippers, do you want to name your daughter with a stripper name? Or your son with a stripper name? We all need it out there. So, unfortunately, I gave one of my daughters a stripper name, and I have a Caitlin. I have a Caitlin with a K. It doesn't make sense, right? Caitlin with a K.
You know what? I've actually seen Caitlin with a K a lot.
It's supposed to be. They switch it to a C.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I have a Catherine. Catherine is K or C. She's Catherine with a K, so she's non-traditional Catherine with a K. Yeah, if I had a girlfriend named Cinnamon, which I have many unique named girlfriends who totally could be stripper names, but not a Cinnamon. That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah, like we are focused on.
I got to work on my grandkids. Maybe I get a grandkid Cinnamon. Could go both ways.
I'd struggle with that one. I'd be like, oh, what's the middle name?
Spice.
Hoping. Spice. I'll call you Spice. It's better than Cinnamon.
Welcome to the stage. Cinnamon Spice. Daddy issues.
This is not going to be my granddaughter.
Going for our masses.
Not going to be my granddaughter Sin either.
Sinful.
Sinful. Oh, that's cute. What's it short for? Short. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
What you got on your side of the camera over there?
Want to pump it up? Mike has a chubby. Oh, that's Ken Dodge.
Somebody write that? I'm sure they did.
Ken Dodge wrote Mike has a chubby. Thanks for noticing, Ken. If anyone would notice, it'd be Ken Dodge.
Ken Dodge. They're peeling that banana in the rooms right now. That was going back just a few minutes. Guys, if you're just tuning in, you'd like to know what that comment might be about.
Right.
Back it up. Rewatch.
Rewatch it later.
Oh. So, my mother is very heavy on etiquette. Okay.
Improper or proper?
Very proper. Very proper. Her mother gave her the book of etiquette. Like, I don't know who wrote it, but it just magically appeared sometime in the 50s, because the 50s knew the 60s were coming, and it was like, oh, hell no. So we had to tell everybody, you wear a T-length skirt this season, and then we're going down to our ankles for summer, and you don't wear white after Labor Day. Like, the whole kit and caboodle. She knew all this stuff, and she tried. She really did. But she had a very apathetic, daughter who didn't go through it. And that may or may not have been me. But I have noticed many things, getting older, becoming more mature, you realize that you have to have value within yourself to then find someone who values you, right? So holding a door open, I welcome that. I love that. Now, I'm not the person that's going to sit in the car after you've parked and just wait and wait and wait. Like I'm not. I will open my car door to get out, but I'll sit there and wait for you to open it. So anyway, you see the trend, the path I'm going down. What do you think, and how often do you find these women where a man will open a door for her and she just walks right through? I have been known to call those people out.
Yeah, me too.
What?
Me too.
Yeah. And say, oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the problem that we're doing, Elizabeth. We're in a state that we have no moral compass anymore. And, in this, United States, our compass are all screwed up. It's like everyone's out for their own agenda and out for themselves.
Yeah.
And like you said, a simple thing. When I'm with Eileen and stuff and I get out of the car, I'm not running around to the other side opening the door. I'd be lying if I tell you I do that. But coming back to the car, we're walking past. I open the door for. I'm not going to go and open my door.
Right.
I mean, more people should do that and holding the door open for somebody. They should say thank you. I mean, it's a simple word. It takes you 2 seconds to say it. Thanks for holding the door. And people just run right through you. Like you're not even there. Like you're supposed to do that for them. That you're there to hold that door for them. They have no consideration for other people's feelings, I guess. I mean, so we got to get back to that moral compass and those ethics that we think that's so silly. The older they get, it goes, they're just simple gestures that we could do to people to make someone's life a little better,
And I appreciate it. I love it. I make a point to make eye contact and tell the gentleman thank you because he is truly being a gentleman. What, on your perspective, on the man's perspective, what is something that we can do or we do that would be a positive towards you guys? Because I think
you're doing it already. You got me at eye contact. You make a little eye contact. That's so weird. We're simple. We don't. I don't know if it's simple or stupid, but we just look at you. Your job is done. That's all. Say hello to us. We're happy. Hey, she said hi to me.
Scott says, "Just walk."
Yeah, just walk.
She's able and walking. We are good.
That's it.
Oh my God. Ken says, I am also extremely protective of those I care about.
Huh.
That's something that I also learned.
Where did that come from? Are you watching the same show we are? Really? He's trying to send a hidden message somewhere, Ken?
Oh my God, I love this. So Scott, he first says, just walk. And then he says, why do you think we hold the door?
Right. That's my boy. He's always thinking.
Oh my gosh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. So, what do you have over there? I keep hogging all the time.
No, you're doing perfect. I mean, that's like I said. I was winging it tonight.
Okay, all right. So I have a girlfriend of mine, and I wonder. This is a true story. I know she doesn't watch, so we're just gonna air it out. Of course, I never use names, so go ahead and start guessing. You can go through my friends list. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you?
See how good the story is.
She has a husband who loves sex. He's not a sexaholic, but he loves sex, and he works from home for as long as I've known her. So he would just, he'd work and then he'd get out of bed because he works in bed, which she does not like because she's like, oh, it's sweaty. It smells like him. I never get to clean it. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Wait, hold on a second. I just got to ask you a question. He works in bed.
He works in bed,
And he gets sweaty
working.
and he smells. What kind of job that you do laying down that makes you sweat and stink?
Well, I guess your metabolism kicks in once you're in bed, working in bed, eating in bed.
I guess.
I guess.
Is he like one of those guys on the phone talkers? Like,
yeah, he's on the phone. Yeah, he's in IT. I won't say exactly what he.
right? Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So he's on the phone. He's working on stuff. All right. So he for years chasing her around the house. Well, she finds out that he went to go see a hooker. Okay. She catches him and she doesn't say anything. Like she's just kind of stalking because he used the family card to put the charge on. So, it says Cinnamon, $350.
That's a good hooker.
Yeah. So,
not that I would know the going rates. But.
So she catches him and then she's like, okay, whatever. And she goes back home. She doesn't, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I would be spiking his soda. He would die that day. So, so they go back home. Like nothing ever happened. Then she sees Cinnamon, $350. So he's so routine. He keeps taking her back to the same hotel room. She finally says something to him. And he had some weird, benign answer for it. And he's like, well, if you would just be open to 3 times a day rather than once a day, then I'd be fine. I don't need Cinnamon. And he totally, he dropped it. He left her. He never went back again. What do you think, in a man's perspective, that she should have done?
I would have been shot. There's no question about it. I would have had a bullet in my head.
Yeah.
3 times a day. I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's 15 minutes I can't get back. Yeah. but that's a lot. That's a problem. 3 times a day.
That you do think that's a problem? 3 times.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. I like it 3 or 4 times a week. 3 times a day. It's. That's you got a serious issue.
Yeah.
You better call Dr. Phil. You better call somebody.
I was very surprised that they kept it together, and they sure did. They're still together. They never split. They never.
Did she ever meet Cinnamon? Did she see what Cinnamon looked like?
No.
Was she worried about disease? I mean, these are all things that.
I know. Well, that's what I had said to her too. I'm like, "Are you worried?" And she's like, "No, I know how." I guess he's very OCD, so he's like, "Well, I wore 2." I'm like, "That's more of your problem than Cinnamon." So,
listen, I gotta meet this guy. This one guy. This one guy I want to sit down and have a beer with. I want to say what he's eating. How many oysters a week is he eating? He's doing something that.
well,
I mean, I would love to do it 3 times a day, but I mean, there's no. I mean, he works from home, but you gotta get some work done.
Well,
it's crazy.
This is the same guy. We have a golf course. We have golf courses all around here, right? So we have a golf course. It's a city golf course, and I'm not knocking on anybody. God bless this girl. She's a very nice looking girl from what I understand, especially from like 15 years ago, which is where this story is from. She's cart girl, so drinks, snacks. She only has 1 leg. And he used to go up there every week to hit on her with my girlfriend's brother. So,
well, I tell you what, that's I'm not laughing because she has 1 leg. I'm laughing because we are so demented that things like that turn us on. Midgets, 1-legged girls, 1-armed girls. I mean, they're like bucket lists. Yeah, they're like bucket lists for us. We are weird in general.
We are so going to be canceled. We're so going to jail after this, Michael.
I mean, you never had a midget. You never had a midget fantasy at all.
I gyrated on a music flat once because it was a New Year's party and I was trashed. And proceeding to take my clothes off, but not in a naughty way, not in a naughty way. Mild gyration. I mean, he was little. You can't like really gyrate on a little guy because he's really little. And they got the littlest one they could find. I mean, it was New Year's, so he's just wearing a diaper.
There's the New Year's.
There's unfortunate pictures of that out there on the internet.
Oh, we gotta find them.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what to look up, but I'm gonna try to. Elizabeth Cooper and the midget scandal.
Yeah.
You know?
It's out there.
That's funny stuff.
So, I guess I get it, and all the guys, because this golf course was very close to a neighborhood I used to live in. So I had a lot of friends who went there, and he's like, oh, other guys would be like, oh yeah, she's hot. She's really hot. And I'm like, but does the hotness fade when she gets your soda and she's got to take it to you? I mean, or are you guys just like focused and you're looking at something else that's jumping up and down?
We don't even realize it.
No, I don't think they did. I really don't. I don't. So what kind of TV do you watch?
What kind of what?
What kind of TV do you watch? What kind of shows?
Sports. I really don't watch too much. So sports and news. I think TV got way out of control. It's not the programs. It's the people. I don't give them as much credit. I mean, I grew up on guys like Steve McQueen and Charles Bronson and people that actually you learn something from.
Right.
Even like Madlock is crap. I mean, what was his name? Andy Griffin or whatever. I mean, at least you learned something. They were men's of men. Even Rock Hudson, he was a man's man, but even though he was gay, he was still a man's man. You know what I'm saying? They had some kind of souls in them. Now they're just try to tell people what to do and how to feel. And, I look at them like, they think they're better than us. I just don't get it. I know you're in the business. I don't know if you feel the same, that the structure of Hollywood has really went down tubes. I mean, they think what their opinions matter and count, and we are the peasants to them. And that's how they come off, to me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, at the core, I'm a mom. I'm a business owner. I love the arts, and I will always be in the arts. But I'm not a theater baby, as I call them. I'm not, a child actor, and that's how I grew up into it. So I love that vision to be able to see through the bullshit.
Right.
And there's a whole lot of it. And I think the power play is the saddest part because, in my opinion, we all have a political opinion and everybody's entitled to how they feel and how they think and what they want and their objectives. That's the beauty of America, is to allow everybody to have those opinions and be able to talk about it and embrace our differences, embrace the differences in our culture and how we think, how we eat, how we dress, and allow space for each other. That I don't see Hollywood allowing that. I see Hollywood jumping on the political bandwagon that is going to be damning in the end.
Right. It is.
And it's sad. I think when you're accepting an award, like I said, everybody needs a space to air however they want to feel, if that's part of their personality and they want to air it. Right. But throwing it and just pushing it in everybody's face isn't right. It's like if you had Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons and many different sectors of different religions, Jewish people, and once they got in front of millions of people and it's broadcast all over the world, they took that moment to push their religion on you. Everybody would be up in arms. They'd be like, what are you doing? I don't want to hear about Christianity while you're accepting your award. You're accepting your Grammy. And in my opinion, it's the same thing. It's like, be political, be who you are, be whoever you are, but also be mindful of giving everybody else that space. And when you're using that moment, just to jump on the back of that political pony, I think it's wrong.
That was crazy. Like, I find it hypocritical that they can make money off of, like, they go after gun control, but they can make money off a movie that they're shooting somebody. So they can exploit the idea of shooting somebody in a movie to make money from. But then they're going to tell you that, I don't believe in guns. You should own a gun, and go against your Second Amendment. I mean, it's just along those lines. It's this, I know it's acting. I get it, but just act and leave that preaching part, to somebody else that are smarter. That's another. We're listening to too many stupid people that are not educated enough to have conversations about what's going on.
It's very hard. Yeah, I agree with you. It's very hard when the microphone is constantly passed to that 1%, and I respect that 1% and that their perception is their reality. It's like your perception's your reality and mine is completely different, and mine's completely different from my own kids who live in the same ecosystem. So, it's such a tricky fine line, because I think if you're gonna, I hate to name names, but you have Billie Eilish, who made it a point to make a video for the candidate that she appreciated and she liked. I get that for the person. You know what I mean? Like, I can make a video, you can make a video, and that would be true to who you are as a person. But once you begin to get paid to do that,
campaigning for them.
Yeah, that's where I think, no, we need to have a separation between Hollywood and politics, just like a separation between Hollywood or one percenters and religion, because I think we're missing that. There's so much between the ego striving, power hungry people that are being passed the microphone that can't relate to the rest of society.
Right. And, these are people also like Billie Eilish. She's talented, and I like her stuff, but she came from absolutely nothing, and she came up to stardom like in a shot of an eye.
Yeah.
I mean, she came from nothing to somebody, and now you have this power, and now you think you owe these certain people certain things. So she's not even educating herself on issues. She's just going, all right, you help me, I'm going to help you, type of thing,
She's so young. So, I hate to look at them so young and go, oh, sweetie, you're being used. You're being preyed upon. We have a couple of them actually in Senate right now who I believe the same is happening. I think, give it 15, 10, 20 years. I don't think it's really going to take as long as 20 years for some of these people to look back at what they were being a mouthpiece for today and realize they were just being used.
Oh, yeah, that's going to happen.
And that's sad. But, that is kind of age old. That has been happening for a very, very long time. And it's just getting to a point to where I agree with you. Our moral compass is off kilter.
Yeah, we gotta, you know what? It's not too late to get it back to the right thing. They keep on using the race bait on us. And, I never had a problem with any man. I'm my worst enemy, Nobody ever gave me more problems than myself. Yeah. You get your own way. And if you're honest with yourself and do the right thing with yourself, you have no problem with anything. I don't care what color you are, what creed you are, but I have the right to be proud of my color, just like anybody has the right to be proud of their color and their history. So taking history down and making, making issues about history that happened years ago, which is damaging and disgusting. I'm not agreeing with it,
right?
But it's time for us to look at each other as all one humans, under God, especially this Holy Week. I mean, this is what it's all about. It's all about, because I watched a little bit of the opening trials today, and it was it's very nerve wracking to see a little piece of our country almost locked down, almost like the Capitol. Big fences around it. We got armed guards and Coast National Guards watching over. I mean, they're just ready to explode, and it's so dangerous, and it's so hard. It breaks my heart to watch people just waiting for the moment to react,
right?
To explode, to hurt people, to damage people's property. and get something out of it. It just hurts my heart. I don't know. Well, enough of that. It's supposed to be funny.
But I'll agree with you. I won't make it any. I'll just say this. I don't even know how to come up with that. But one thing that I say to my kids all the time, and obviously we've done a lot of work for all Americans, and what I love about the word Americans is that it's that melting pot. But we're not intended to percolate and melt into one type of candy, if you will. If you put all these different pieces of candy in a pot and you boil it, it becomes one goo. That's not what it's about. It's about being all in that pot with a bunch of people that are different from you and coexisting. And the one thing that I tell my kids is that we're mammals. We are just sophisticated animals. That's it. That's why humans do crazy stuff that we do. Because if you look at the animal kingdom, really, there's some mammals out there that have a better moral compass than we do. But, that's what it comes down to. Don't think that you're anything more than a mammal. You're an animal. That's it. You're roaming a planet, and you're here to contribute positively to your ecosystem, whatever environment that may be.
So we're talking about, since we're animals, so name something that you got caught doing outside that you saw animals do outside.
Oh, having sex.
Getting caught.
Yeah. Sometimes you care, sometimes you don't care. Right. There was one time at band camp.
One time at band camp.
When I was dating my first husband, we used to go canoeing all the time. And if my kids are watching, go ahead and shut it down now. We used to go canoeing down the Chattahoochee River all the time. And one time we pulled off to the side and there was a nice little rock. And I'm like, oh, look at that rock. And he's like, yeah, that's a rock over there. And I'm like, yeah. He finally got it. So we rode over and had a good time. And there were other like rafters and stuff coming by and didn't really care. And then there's times where like you're on the beach and maybe there's security guards, you kind of have to care. Park rangers, they're not into it.
They're not funny.
They're not into it. If you're a park ranger and you are into it, let me know where you are. How about you?
The same thing in the park. I got caught eating a hot dog one time in the park. Sex in the park. It's
what animals do. Let me think. I got to go back.
What do animals do outside?
Brain logs. Yeah. I mean, I guess all.
I got caught taking a leak outside, and I think I was in North Carolina, and they actually have a law out there that the cop was gonna write me a ticket, but he did it. He goes, this ticket could be they would almost make you register for a sex offender.
They don't do that to girls
because you have your penis outside.
Yeah.
Outside your pants, so they can register you as a sex offender if you would have gave me that ticket. So I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that again.
Yeah, if you wear a dress, they won't do that. If they think you're a girl, they won't do that. They'll just be like, sweetie, can we help you out?
I remember that next time. Wear a dress.
Yeah. No, we used to party pretty hard in Asheville, North Carolina, and that was never a problem in Asheville.
Asheville's nice too.
Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice area. Cool little college town. Very, very, very hazy. It's very dank, weedy. That's what Asheville is like. Yeah, very artsy.
Artsy, crafty.
Artsy, in between the pot haze. Yeah. All right. So Trainwreck TV, going back to my question of television, I would agree with you. My boys are aging to a point to where they had like Beyblades on, and then they had, I was like, no guys, it's 6:00 in the morning. I can't do this right now. Then they put on, I don't know what it is, but it's like a Japanese cartoon. And that was all like really high pitched, same intensity. And I'm like, guys, you're not getting me. So they watch Treehouse Masters. I'm like, okay, I can do this. Namaste. Thank you. I can do this. But I also have my Trainwreck TV, just like my boys are finding their Trainwreck TV. And before I get into that, my son came around the corner the other day, and he's brilliant. He's a genius. He's got to be. Because as much random knowledge as this kid crams in there, it's not humanly possible. But he comes around the corner with probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And he goes, Mom, I have an idea. Now, he's addicted to doing science projects. Some kindergarten teacher taught him how to junk model. So he's been stealing my garbage for at least 5 years and doing junk modeling in his bedroom. Never find any tape in this house, ever. No glue, no shipping tape, nothing. It's gone. So he said, I have an experiment to do. I'm like, okay, buddy, what's that? And he said, I'm going to watch Full House and Fuller House and compare the differences. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that. No. I know pot smoking Chiba monkeys in Las Vegas do that. So, but Trainwreck TV, I've got this thing. It's been not so long, but it's been long enough to where the offspring of this person, you really want to know how she's going to turn out. Anna Nicole Smith. I know it's like the dumbest thing ever, and you listen to her whine and like drunk and high, and like we all get it now, unfortunately. Gorgeous girl. And that's probably why I watch it, because I'm like, oh my God, that was so stupid, but she's so beautiful. Oh my God, that's so stupid, but she's so beautiful. So I've been watching her. Do you have any train wreck addictions?
I do, but I can add something to your kid's
Oh
project.
God.
If he could watch Full House and Fuller House together while listening to the Beach Boys, I think the kid's a genius.
You hate me, Mom.
Yeah, no.
You don't hate me.
So what was your question?
Train wreck.
Like train wrecks.
Yeah. I have 3 of them. There's 3 that I'm really hooked on right now. And when I'm like doing the deposit for the company, I'm supposed to be focused, but I'm like, she did what? And then I'm what? It's
like a soap opera type of thing?
No. So it's all the documentaries on these people because they're dead. So they're cold dead. So anybody was going to come out of the closet at any point in time, some cousins, brother, sister's mother, they all came out to tell their story.
Right.
And now it's all documented. So Anna Nicole Smith, tons of documentaries. But she had that daughter before she died.
Right.
And
isn't she dead too now?
No. Her daughter.
Her son died.
The son died. Right. And then Anna Nicole Smith died. The daughter looks just like her. She's tall and lanky, beautiful face. Like, I can't wait to see what this girl does. And hopefully she keeps her head on straight.
So the other closest one I could get would be like Presley's daughter. Because now she has a daughter that's beautiful. That looks like Elvis.
She does. And I think she has 3 girls and a boy. And her son passed away last year. That was very sad. Her son was, I'm going to say early 30s. I was just reading about that the other day because she fascinates me too. Who the heck could be married to Michael Jackson and really think that you're married?
And have kids with it?
I don't think they had any kids.
No, they have no kids?
No, they didn't have any kids because they got divorced. He wanted kids. See, I just watched this documentary the other day. I got really bored. In my in-between moments, I don't know how I got bored, but maybe 2:00 in the morning. So they got divorced. And then he, like, I don't know what that woman was, but the woman where they had the kids together, they had Paris and Blanket.
Right.
Yeah, so they had those two kids together, but it was a real random frumpy woman. So I don't know where she came from. She had to be. I won't even say it, but
You ever notice when you're on here, you get some miserable people that like to say miserable comments to people,
yeah, did somebody do
like
that?
this Jane Morris one, that knows me for like a hot second and thinks she knows everything about me. She writes these damn comments. You know,
Oh,
he's a miserable person. She should get a life.
okay, okay,
So,
all right.
so anyhow, I just had to get that out of so
Okay.
you know,
So, um,
little drama for the show. For
well, yeah, wasn't sure if that was real or not, but I'll let that
she
resonate
don't,
right
she
there.
don't, you know what? This is the one that goes around and puts on his because she took a couple of pictures of me and put it on my and I use her pictures and put them on my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, "Oh, don't use my pictures." So every once in a while, her pictures pop up on one of my things.
Uh-huh.
And then she tells her friend on her friend. I'm not friends with her on Facebook, but then she puts this on. Oh, this guy's stealing my pictures. He's a drug addict. He's this. All not true.
You're
You
not a
know.
drug addict.
No. So she don't know me. She knew me from that other crap radio show I used to do. So she better stop this nonsense
Okay.
because it's really getting nuts.
All right.
So
Well,
anyhow,
that's good to know. Okay.
yeah.
Going back to the train wrecks. What about Janis Joplin?
That's a sad story.
It was a set.
You know,
She was crazy talented.
crazy talented, and that same thing with the other one. What the hell was her name? Oh, I loved her too.
Oh, Amy Winehouse?
And the Winehouse.
Oh.
That's another tragic.
She didn't even have to try. It just melted out of her. And she was, and I've done some research on her as well because she's another good documentary to just sit and run while I'm doing the deposit. You can tell I could never be a CPA, but I do this out of owning and loving the company partially.
Right.
Because it bores me. So it's literally like this. And God bless it, when I add everything up, it actually comes out right. So I'm like, okay, whatever. But Amy Winehouse, man, she was, crack cocaine, meth, drinking. She had everything going all at once. And then she'd take the microphone, except for at the very, very end when she really fell apart. She messed herself up and really messed up some concerts at the end, as we all know. But good grief, that girl.
There's talent, the train wrecks. You got to wonder what's going through their heads to be on top of the world. And there's a quote someone said out there. It's weird to be so known, but no one knows you.
Yes.
It's a lonely spot to be in. That everyone knows you, but they don't know you.
And I think, William Glenn Russell, Gorehound, he has just messaged Jim Morrison. I would agree. That's another one.
That's another one.
That's another one. Just like you just said, everybody knows you, but
they don't know you. They don't know the struggles.
They don't know you. So that's what I've got over here. What do you have over there? What's your next crazy question for me? And then we can close it out if you want. Or you keep asking me crazy questions.
Crazy questions.
Let's
see what I have over here. Where can we go? All right. So you asked me about the holidays coming up.
Yep.
What's your normal day? Do you hide the eggs in the back for the kids? Do you do the Easter coloring? Are you about putting money inside those, the fake eggs? What's your game plans?
All right. So there's a couple of different levels to that. So there's mom, and then there's me. Mom, man, I would decoupage the hell out of some eggs and stuff them with all goodies, handmade goodie crochet little crap and put it in. That's what I would do. But I realized I couldn't live consistently to that Martha Stewart level, so I've dropped it down to eggs. Who needs eggs? You really need here's a jelly bean. Here, don't choke on it. We're good? Can we go to school now? All right, we'll go back to school. So I'm trying to find my middle ground, to be honest with you. I'm more of, I think money would be better because, and I have to remember this, for me, I'd prefer to go hunting for eggs full of money. Like, my perfect vacation would be take me to the beach, get me drunk, tell me there's a bunch of eggs full of money hidden everywhere. I will start digging until we have to leave. Like, it'll be like, Liz, the plane is about to take off. The plane. And I'd be like, no, it's here. It's here. So I think the egg's full of candy. And here's what I've wound up having to do. Because in the very beginning, we did the eggs and the hunt and all that kind of stuff. And I'd fill the eggs with candy, but I'd also fill the basket with candy. Well, the Easter Bunny would fill the basket with candy. So I've backed off on the candy, so the candy can go in the eggs. And down here in the South, you can't put chocolate in the eggs because it could be like 95 degrees. So all the candy and the bubble gum and stuff like that go in the eggs. And that's what I do now. And I do put some money in there because now I've got a couple of adults here too. So it's a mixture of kids and adult kids. What do you do?
Well, I don't do nothing no more, but I used to do the eggs outside and make them go out and look for them. Eggs inside the house. But there's always a problem with finding an egg like a week later. Hard-boiled eggs don't smell too good after a week hidden in your house somewhere. So we did the plastic ones too. My neighbors have a bunch of pictures of me in my underwear outside in the middle of the night or early in the morning. So we did the outside, the inside Easter hunt every year and let them go out there and try to find them.
Yeah.
And you always had that golden egg that had the money in it. So
I try to kick them outside. So that's a part of your question I didn't answer. I do try to kick them outside and do it out there because they ransack my house 24/7. So that cannot be entertaining for them any more than what they already do. 364 days out of the year except for Easter.
They're already out there doing it.
They're already doing it. So I send them outside. And I think this year it's going to be a multi-yard effort. They're getting to that age where they're going to go in the neighbor's yard and they probably won't know that they're in the neighbor's yard. But I'm going to get a bottle of wine with a long turbid straw and a chair and go.
It's always a drinking game.
Warm. No, you're cold. You're cold. Oh, you're warm. Until they start crossing the street. Oh, you're getting warmer. Just keep going down the street. It's going to be a good Easter for mommy.
You need a golf cart for this one.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys know where the grocery store is? Okay, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, they're sitting there and painting them and stuff the night before, and it was always fun. Messy, but fun.
Mm-hmm.
I know my kids do have a couple of stories they tell. I don't believe them, even though I was there. I'm like, that never happened. Everything bad they say about me, I'm like, that never happened. I never did that. You're crazy.
We have to do
Wasn't me.
We have to do that because it's mean to say that was the only way I could keep my sanity. Otherwise, right. I was just going to run away from here and you were going to be like feral cats. Apparently that's not what you want to say to your kids.
Yeah. My daughter, apparently, Ashley, was watching the show last time we were on and me telling the story. And she goes, oh, thanks for telling everyone that story. I'm like, she goes, it was funny. I really liked you on that show. You did really good. I'm like, that's a good compliment. I didn't even know she was on,
Yeah.
So she told me that afterwards, which was pretty good.
No,
fun.
A lot of people do wind up watching the replays of shows, of all types of shows, right? And
right.
My dad will watch. So there are times where I'm like,
happy birthday, Dad.
if you are my father, sign off. Yeah. So that
does it say Dad on there?
Yeah. Let me see. Martin. Oh, we gotta get clean here. I gotta get clean.
It goes that canoe story.
Yeah.
You gotta put the minutes. Just turn off at minute 38, 38.5. You gotta turn it off, Dad. It's canoe story.
You're right. The first 3 minutes are great, but that's it. Yeah, it's a funny story about movies where they really go on. My partner, him and his sister would watch The Sound of Music. And for years and years, The Sound of Music would end at the wedding. Well, there's a lot more after the wedding.
Uh-huh.
But his mom and dad are like, no, it's good. We're done. So they'd shut it off. Well, they bought it until they got to college. So the two of them are 18 months apart. They're both in college. It's around Christmas time, the Sound of Music comes on. One's in Arizona, the other one's in Washington State. They're both watching it at the same time. And all of a sudden, the wedding happens. And I think his sister shut it off, but he didn't. So him and his roommates are just, blah, blah, blah. And he turns around and there's more. And he calls his sister and he's like,
like an hour.
Yeah, he's like, Jody, did you know that there were Nazis in this movie? Did you? And she's like, what are you talking about? The movie's over. I just watched it. He's like, no, there's more. And they lied to us. Hold on. I'm going to get mom down on the phone.
They missed the Hills of the Alive and everything.
They missed it. Yeah, it was over after they got
running up the hill. Isn't that the end?
I know.
Running up there.
I love those things because that made me.
They never knew about the Nazis.
No, not
the best part.
Not until they got to college. I mean, what was that? It's like, yeah, you guys are on the short bus.
No, his roommates hate him. Everything. Maybe watch that 4.5 hour movie.
I know, because it's new for them. They're like, oh my gosh, what happens next? And everybody's like, it's a 35-year-old film. We can tell you what.
That's true. You dumbasses.
I know it. So, with the Tooth Fairy, let's talk about more whimsical creatures. Of course, we got Santa. Everybody, I don't want to hear about it. We all got something for Santa. The Easter Bunny, there's no real sounds. It's not like you can hop through the house in the middle of the night. Like, they'd all wake up.
Right.
Tooth Fairy. What did you guys ever do for the Tooth Fairy?
I screwed up. I overpaid the first tooth. You overpaid the first tooth, you are screwed. You can't go lower. So I only had $5. I had no singles on me. I won't forget this because it goes on to the next one and the next one and the next one. So I only had $5 and a 20. So I'm like, I'm just gonna give a 5 for the first tooth, and then the 5 went to 20, then 25.
25.
Yeah. Well, yeah. They rolled me. The Tooth Fairy rolled me.
I need to make a trip to New York. I can make. Yeah, they got implants now. Oh man, $25
for the last tooth.
That kid had to be so excited they couldn't even sleep.
And they tell each other, Yeah,
of course they do. And then the first one's pissed.
Yeah, because like your friends there, my first daughter's 11 months apart.
Yeah.
And then then it's 18 months apart from the next one. Then I have like a 2-year little gap.
Talk about the Easter Bunny. Good grief. I thought
the Tooth Fairy was that was a bad gig for me. That Tooth Fairy guy. A woman, whatever she was.
Right. I don't know what it was. So the Tooth Fairy, it kind of got a little butchered by the end. And, I'm still in it. I still have a bunch of teeth in people's mouths that are about to fall out like puppies. But, it started with a couple of quarters, keep it low. That wasn't a problem. The problem was these kids had a better ability of staying awake than I did. So I tried setting the alarm for the middle of the night. No, my 2 oldest daughters would wake up like that. I had to go in full costume. I had these wings. I had some crazy wig. I had like a fairy outfit. And that's how I had to do it. So
I'm picturing all this in my head, but it's more sexual.
it was.
You got the wings. You got the
hair. It was a big.
You got that magic wand.
I had the wand. I did like fairy movements. Drunkenly sleepy because I'm pregnant with somebody at this point in time because I was pregnant for 72 years of my youth. So, I'm going in. Oh, a tooth. but I got to do the voice because they're going to remember all this and like go to preschool and be like, listen, it's legit, you know? So I had the costume, and then I have friends of mine.
Do you still have the costume?
I do. I do still have
the next show you got to wear it.
I do still have the costume. So I have friends of mine. I don't know if this is an Italian thing, as I'm not Italian, but they are. He's from Sicily and she's from mainland Italy. Not exactly sure right now, but it will come to me as soon as we disconnect. And their tradition was that you put a cup of water and the tooth fairy would dye the water depending on what fairy, if it was the green fairy, the pink fairy, or the purple fairy. And the money would be in the water and the tooth would be out. I'm thinking that's a whole lot of work, but kind of genius, because if you drop coins into water, they just sort of settle, right? So you're not going to hear like clink, clink, like I did. I just like chucked it at their head dressed as a fairy. Where's the tooth? Feeling underneath the pillow, like, where's the tooth? And the kid's head's going like this. You're trying to get the tooth. It's a mess. Thus the costume. I had to be very believable because I was quite clumsy with this effort.
Well, that takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Well, you got to do something. I mean, now I've got a middle child who turning 14 in the summer. 4 months ago, she had 13 baby teeth to lose. I'm sorry. You're 13 years old and you're coming to me saying, Mom, I lost a tooth. It's just a currency exchange at that point. It's like, all right,
you better be looking for the pliers.
Yeah, like, here's a couple of bucks. Give me the tooth. Okay, see you next week. Like, so.
That's funny stuff.
All right. Well, I think we should probably stop there. And we'll come back not next week, right?
Whatever you want. 2 weeks.
2 weeks. So I will advertise it so that everybody knows and everybody can tune in to our next show. And let's just keep it coming. Whatever comes to mind. Let's just I'll say that. Let's just keep it coming. Right, Michael?
Do you hear me? Am I here?
You're here. You're here. All right. Well, everybody, I hope you've enjoyed. I want to say good night to everybody who's tuned in. We've had Ken Dodge with us. Male prostitute is his comment from 21 minutes in. We got pretty. What he do is what Scott said at 21 minutes in. So go ahead and rewatch it because I think according to all of these comments, we got a good one here, Michael, and I am so thankful for you, and I'm thankful for everybody watching. And let's talk for just a moment. I want to put up on the screen about here it is. Road Captain. Tell us a little bit about Road Captain. How can we get the app, and how can we follow you?
Yes, you can follow me at Road Captain, roadcaptain.com, Road Captain Group, Road Captain Radio Connection. You could go to Apple and Google. We're still working on Apple to release our program, but you can get it on Google. Google Play to download the app. So we're just going a little difficulty, but we're getting it fixed up and ready out for the season for you guys to use it and get out there and ride with it.
Yes, and it's super cool. You were telling us last time that we were on that it will tell you when it'll tell you about weather, upcoming weather, and things you want to know.
It will give you weather alerts, up to date weather, so you get real time weather. It's not going to say, "Oh, it's good." You're riding. It's going to tell you if you're riding into a storm, not riding into a storm. So you have options to go around the storm. It's going to give you options to do that. Take you off the highways and put you to the scenic routes and the mom and pop stores. And, we like to give small businesses our money instead of big businesses. So use mom and pop stores, shop locally, and start using Road Captain.
You're having a hard time keeping it up there, Michael.
This is the first time. It must be my age. The damn thing fell off. And I'm frozen over here, so I can't see if you can see it or not. I'm struggling with this. Because I can't see myself. Because I'm frozen. So that's what I'm saying. Am I still on? Can you still see me?
Yeah,
You can still see me.
Yep, we still see you.
I'm like, look at this. I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
I wasn't sure if you were trying to adjust for something or was.
No, I wasn't. Then it fell off. Look, the whole thing's falling apart.
All right. Well, we will be back in just a few weeks. We hope that everybody enjoys your Easter. And if you get bored and want to laugh hysterically with your family, please share this show with all of your family members. Like, share, comment. And next time, I love all the comments. Please keep the comments coming. We'd love to work you into the show. Possibly, maybe we'll do one where we put out a live link where if you have the app downloaded to join the show, which is very easy and it'll prompt you as to how to do it, you can join and ask your question. So everybody, thank you so much. And as always, thank you to Viter Energy of Viter Mints. We certainly appreciate you and our fresh, clean breath underneath our masks in all 5 wonderful flavors. So goviter.com. That's goviter.com, where you can order. You can look at all new flavors coming onto the market, or go to Walmart. Pick up some Viter Energy Mints. It's great. It'll give you a kick in the butt just like you need every single Monday through Monday. All right. Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Michael, thank you so much. And let's get together and do this again.
Yes, please. Mother, can I have another?
Love it. All right. Happy Easter, everybody.